I made a mistake choosing you over him. He actually achieved something, she said, crew. So I quietly packed and focused on my future. Now Tom's lies are exposed. She's broke and begging, but I've upgraded to real success. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. My name's Oliver, mid-30s software developer by day with a side hustle in freelance app development that's been slowly gaining traction. Nothing flashy, but I've always been the steady type. I met Ashley 2 years earlier at a networking event for tech folks. She was a marketer full of energy and big dreams about climbing the corporate ladder. From the start, I was all in. I supported her through everything. Late nights when she was job hunting after a layoff, covering rent when her freelance gigs dried up, even skipping my own weekend coding marathons to help her prep for interviews. I cooked meals, listened to her vent about toxic bosses, and celebrated her small wins like they were mine too. But looking back, the cracks were there early. Ashley had this ex, Tom, who she mentioned way too often. They dated in college, and from her stories, he was the one who got away. Ambitious, always chasing the next big thing. She dropped these casual comparisons that stung more each time. Like one evening after I'd just landed a decent freelance contract, we were chilling on the couch in our apartment. I've been excited to share it, thinking it'd be a step toward that house we talked about buying someday. You know, Tom started his own startup right out of school, she said, out of nowhere, scrolling through her phone. He didn't wait around for side gigs. He just went for it and made it happen. I paused the movie we were watching. Ash, this contract could lead to more stable work. It's not nothing. She shrugged, not even looking up. I mean, yeah, it's fine. But Tom actually achieved something with his life. He had that drive, you know, built a whole company from scratch. I felt that familiar twist in my gut, but I brushed it off. We're building something together here. That's achievement too. She just rolled her eyes. Sure, Oliver. Whatever. Flashback to a few months earlier. I'd used my savings to take her on a weekend getaway after she nailed a promotion. We were at this cozy cabin and things felt good, but over breakfast, she started again. Tom and I used to do spontaneous trips like this all the time. He surprised me with Paris once on a whim. Remember how I told you? Yeah, I said trying to keep it light. But we're here now. That's what matters. She laughed, but it wasn't kind. You're sweet, but sometimes I wonder if I settled too soon. Tom's out there living big. Those moments piled up. I'd sacrificed my own goals, like turning down a remote job offer that would have meant more travel, just to stay local for her stability, and she'd twist it into me being unambitious. I started doubting myself. Was I holding her back? But I stayed loyal, thinking it was just her way of processing old stuff. I even encouraged her to reach out to old friends, including Tom, if it helped her close that chapter. Big mistake. Turns out she never really closed it. By our second anniversary, the comparisons were constant. At dinner with friends, she'd say things like, Oliver is great, but Tom's killing it in Silicon Valley. Now, did you see his latest post, bought a Tesla? Our mutuals would shift uncomfortably and I'd just smile through it, changing the subject. Internally though, it was eating at me. I loved her, poured everything into us, but I felt like a placeholder, undeservedly mistreated. Yeah, that's putting it mildly. I was the guy showing up every day while she romanticized a ghost from her past. Things came to a head one Friday night. I'd planned a nice dinner at home, her favorite pasta wine, the works to celebrate closing a big freelance deal that could turn my side hustle into a full business. I was buzzing with ideas about expanding, maybe even hiring help down the line. But when she walked in, her face said it all distant, almost smug. We sat down and I started telling her about the deal. Midway through, she interrupted. Oliver, we need to talk. My stomach dropped. What's going on? She set her fork down, leaning back like she was about to deliver a TED talk. I've been thinking a lot lately about us, about my life, and I made a mistake choosing you over him. Tom actually achieved something with his life. He's built empires while you've been tinkering. I stared at her, the words hitting like a slap. Tinkering. Ash, I've been building this for us, supporting you through everything. She waved that off. Support is nice, but I need more. Tom's back in touch. We reconnected a few weeks ago. He's going through some stuff, but his drive, it's inspiring. We were always meant to be. I think I reached out because your stability, it's just not enough anymore. You reached out to him. I kept my voice even, but inside, confusion swirled. Weeks ago, while I was grinding late nights, yeah, she said her tone turning defensive but arrogant. He messaged me first, actually said he missed what we had, and honestly, comparing you two, it's no contest. You're comfortable, Oliver, like a safety blanket. But Tom challenges me. He's got that spark. I deserve someone who's already made it, not someone still figuring it out. I felt the room spin. So all the times I put you first helping with your resume, covering bills when you were between jobs, that was just comfortable. She actually smirked. Exactly. It's sweet, but it's boring. Tom's life is exciting. He's got stories, success. You're just here. I don't want to settle for someone who's always playing catch up. Her logic twisted like a pretzel, justifying betrayal by painting me as the problem. And What about us, the plans we made? Plans change, she snapped. I've already told him, yes, we're giving it another shot. You can stay here tonight, but I think it's best if you start looking for a place. No apology, no remorse, just dismissal. Like, I was an outdated app she was uninstalling. I nodded slowly, not begging or yelling. If that's what you want. That night, while I lay on the couch, she was already posting on social media. I couldn't help but check. Masochistic, I know. There it was. A photo of her and Tom from back in the day. Captioned, "Getting back with the one who got away. Sometimes you have to circle back to find your future. Number second chances, number true love." Likes poured in, including from some of our shared friends. Comments like, "So happy for you." Public humiliation on top of the gut punch. I felt exposed like everyone knew I was the mistake. The unfairness burned after all I'd given. She broadcasted it like a victory lap. The next morning, I didn't confront her or demand explanations. No emotional outburst, no pleading texts. I just started packing. She watched from the kitchen, sipping coffee like it was any other day. "You're really just going?" she asked, a hint of surprise in her voice. "Yeah," I said flatly, folding clothes into a duffel. "You made your choice." She crossed her arms. "No fight. No, don't do this." Wow, maybe I was right about you lacking passion. I zipped the bag. Passion isn't screaming Ash. Good luck with Tom. And that was it. I grabbed my laptop, some essentials, and walked out. Crashed at a buddy's place that night. No details shared, just we split. First thing Monday, I changed my number, blocked her on everything, and transferred my half of the rent to her account to cover the lease end. Clean break. The days after were rough. I sat with the betrayal, the confusion of why me replaying her words like a bad loop. Flashback to last Christmas. I'd surprised her with a custom necklace engraved with our initials. She gushed, but later compared it to the diamonds Tom got me once. I'd ignored it, but now it all clicked. I felt discarded, like my efforts were invisible. But I didn't spiral. Instead, I detached. Signed up for therapy. First session, I unloaded. She made me feel like a backup plan. The therapist nodded. "Sounds like her issues, not yours." That stuck. I threw myself into my freelance work, turning that recent contract into a launch pad. Long nights coding, but purposeful. Joined a gym, reconnected with old hobbies like hiking stuff I'd sidelined for her. Moved into a small studio, nothing fancy but mine. Months passed in silence. No checking her profiles. No mutual friend updates. I focused on building Landed. 2 more clients started prototyping an app that could scale. The emotional middle breathed. Lonely evenings questioning if I'd ever trust again. But each small win rebuilt me from vulnerable. Was I really that boring to clear her loss? I'm investing in me now. Dignity meant not reacting, just evolving. Little did I know, her perfect reunion was unraveling fast. It wasn't until about 4 months later that I started hearing whispers through the grapevine. Mutual friends who I'd kept loose contact with, the ones who didn't buy into her social media glow up. At first, I didn't seek it out. I was too busy grinding. My freelance business was picking up steam. I'd incorporated it, officially hired a part-time assistant, and even secured funding for that app prototype. Life was moving forward one steady step at a time. But karma has a way of circling back. And when it hit Ashley, it hit like a freight train. From what pieced together later, Tom wasn't the empire builder she'd painted. Sure, on the surface, his LinkedIn screamed success, startup, founder, investor connections, the works. But behind the curtain, his life was a mess. He'd reached out to her not out of lingering love, but desperation. His marriage had imploded in a nasty divorce complete with alimony battles. His latest venture had tanked, leaving him buried in debt. He was crashing on friends' couches when he messaged her, spinning tales of temporary setbacks to reel her in. Ashley, blinded by her fantasy, jumped right in. She let him move into our old apartment almost immediately, posting more of those cringy updates. Reunited and rebuilding together, number power couple. But Tom was just using her a free place to stay, someone to vent to about his ex-wife, a shoulder for his emotional support while he worked his way out of the hole. He borrowed money from her just to tide things over, promising repayment once his deals closed. She covered his bills, hyped him up to her circle, even introduced him as her successful partner at events. Then once he got back on his feet, a new investor gig that paid off his debts, he bailed. Ghosted her overnight, leaving a note about how she was holding him back just like before. Turns out, that's why they'd split in college. She wasn't ambitious enough for his ego back then either. Now, roles reversed. He discarded her like yesterday's news. She was left with maxed out cards from helping him an apartment she couldn't afford alone, and a reputation in tatters. Those public posts, they backfired hard. Friends who congratulated her initially started distancing themselves when the truth leaked. Tom's ex even commented on one exposing his patterns. Ashley became isolated, her job performance slipping as the stress mounted. She got passed over for a promotion she'd been gunning for, and rumors swirled that her constant drama was the reason. I didn't gloat when I heard bits of this. No shot in Florida at parties, but damn, the irony stung sweet. She'd chased achievement and got a fraud who mirrored her own manipulations. Meanwhile, I was quietly thriving, my business hitting 6 figures in revenue. Karma didn't need my help. It unfolded on its own timeline. The first crack in my no contact wall came via a new number. Hers, I assumed, about 6 months post breakup. I just wrapped a successful pitch meeting feeling on top of the world when my phone buzzed with a text. Oliver, it's Ashley. Can we talk? I miss you. I stared at it, the old confusion flickering briefly, but I deleted it without replying. More followed that week, escalating from casual to pleading. Hey, I know I hurt you, but things with Tom, they weren't what I thought. He used me. Can I call? No response from me. Then voicemails. Oliver, pick up. I was an idiot. You were always there for me, and I threw it away for a fantasy. Please let's meet. I need to explain. Her tone shifted sweet at first, laced with regret. But when silence met, her desperation crept in. Why are you ignoring me? After everything you owe me, a conversation at least. Over. That hypocrisy boiled under the surface, but I stayed detached. Blocked the number, but she found workarounds. Email next. Subject. I'm sorry. Let's fix this. Oliver. Tom's gone. He left me in a mess. Debt's heartbreak. I realize now you were the real deal. Your stability. I took it for granted. Remember how we used to plan our future? I want that back. Call me. Attached was a photo of us from happier times. Like that sway me. I archived it. No reply. That's when her circle got involved. Toxic and unpleasant, just like the plan warned. First, her best friend messaged on social. Dude, Ashley's going through hell. Be a man and hear her out. She's changed. Then a call from her sister, who I'd always found pushy. I answered, thinking it might be important. Oliver, it's Megan. Look, Ashley's a wreck. Crying all the time. Can't eat. Tom's a jerk. But you're punishing her for one mistake. Family sticks together. You were basically family. Come over. Talk it out. She's sorry. Okay. I kept calm. Megan, this isn't my problem anymore. She huffed. Wow, cold, she said. You lacked passion. Guess she was right. At least Tom had fire even if it burned her. Click. Hung up. But Ashley wasn't done. She showed up at my old gym. Must have asked around waiting in the parking lot like a scene from a bad rom-com. Oliver. She rushed over as I exited, eyes puffy, makeup smudged. Please, just 5 minutes. I stopped, keys in hand, but didn't invite her closer. What do you want, Ash? Her voice cracked. I was wrong. Tom's life was a lie. Divorce, bankruptcy, all of it. He used me for money and ditched me. I'm alone now, struggling. You built something real. I see that. Let's start over. I can help with your business. Be the partner you deserved. Hypocrisy on full display. Now my tinkering was real. Power reversal hitting her hard. I shook my head. Not. She grabbed my arm. Why? I know I was cruel, but people change. My friends say you're being stubborn. Even mum thinks you should forgive. Her pleas turned angry. Fine. Ignore me. You're just bitter because I chose better or thought I did. But look at you. Still single, buried in work. Pathetic. True colors shining. I pulled away. Goodbye, Ashley. I drove off, blocking the flood of text that followed, from apologetic to furious rants about my heartlessness. The climax came at our mutual friend Jake's wedding neutral ground, a garden venue outside the city. I'd RSVP'd, yes, months ago, figuring she'd skip it after everything. But there, she was disheveled in a rumpled dress, nursing a drink alone while everyone whispered. I'd arrived with Elena, my new girlfriend, a fellow developer I'd met at a conference. We'd been dating 3 months. She was kind-driven and valued my steady vibe. My business booming, I just closed a major partnership. Ashley spotted us during the reception, weaving through the crowd. Oliver, we need to talk now. Elena raised an eyebrow, but I squeezed her hand. It's fine. Ashley glanced at Elena, jealousy flashing. Who's this? Elena. My fiance. Actually, we got engaged last week. Okay. Slight exaggeration for the story, but we were headed there. What do you want? She faltered, then plunged in. Tom destroyed me, left me broke, isolated. I see now you were building a future while he lived in the past. I threw it away. Please give me another chance. I'll make it right. Her desperation peaked. Tears, trembling hands. Mutual friends watched the contrast stark her unraveling versus my composed life. I met her eyes calm and firm. Ashley, you chose achievement over what we had. Remember, I made a mistake choosing you. He actually achieved something. Well, turns out Tom's achievements were smoke, but mine, they're real and they're mine now. She stammered, but I was wrong. You can't just erase us. I mirrored her logic back. Plans change right. You deserve someone with spark. I deserve peace. You've become irrelevant to my happiness. I've built a life without you. Business thriving, someone who sees my worth. You're a lesson I learned from, but that's it. Her face crumpled. So that's it. You're done completely. I turned to Elena. Let's dance. We walked away, her sobs fading behind us. Blocked her for good that night. She's powerless now. A footnote in my story, I've moved on, emotionally free and upgraded. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story?